Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to this segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. The recitation is Sri Rag Mahalla Tija. Kaiya Sadhai Uradh tap Karai, vichon haume na jaye. Adhyatma karm je kare, naam na kabhi paaye. Gur ke sabd jeevat mare, har naam vase mane aaye. ਸੁਨ ਮਨ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਜ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਸਰਣਾ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਛੁਟੀਐ ਪਿਕ ਭਵਜਲ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਗੁਰ ਤਰਣਾ ਰਹਾਓ ਤ੍ਰੈ ਗੁਣ ਸਭਾ ਧਾਤ ਹੈ ਦੂਜਾ ਭਾਉ ਵੇਕਾਰ ਪੰਡਤ ਪੜੈ ਬੰਧਨ ਮੋਹ ਬਾਧਾ ਨਹਿ ਬੂਝੇ ਵਿਖਿਆ ਪਿਆਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਮਿਲਿਐ ਤ੍ਰਿਕੁਟੀ ਛੁਟੈ ਚੌਥੇ ਪਦ ਮੁਕਤ ਦੁਆਰ ਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਮਾਰਗ ਪਾਈਐ ਚੂਕੇ ਮੋਹ ਗੁਬਾਰ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਮਰੇ ਤਾਂ ਉਧਰੈ ਪਾਏ ਮੋਖ ਦੁਆਰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦੀ ਮਿਲ ਰਹੇ ਸਚ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾਰ ਇਹ ਮਨੁਆ ਅਤ ਸਬਲ ਹੈ ਛੱਡੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਪਾਏ ਦੂਜੇ ਭਾਏ ਦੁਖ ਲਾਇਂਦਾ ਬਹੁਤੀ ਦੇ ਸਜਾਏ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਲਗੇ ਸੇ ਉਬਰੇ So we find that in the opening section, a direct aim has been taken at the practice of asceticism, which involves physical and psychological subjugation, denial, in order to attain a spiritual ideal or goal. Now, it is worth remembering that virtually all religions have a trace of this practice, which is rooted in the notion that the physical body is somehow bad and has to be denied or subdued. Now, clearly, we have to be without any doubt that Sikhi does not condone this notion of the body, and it eschews any such practices as futile and counterproductive, if not ridiculous. Kaiya Sadhai Uradh tap Karai, vichon haume na jaye. No matter what, you're not going to lose your ego. So the goal then is to achieve a state called jivat mare, to die while alive. And this state is made available only in harnam, that is self-knowledge, with a capital S, which in turn can be accessed only through the sabad, the word, Guru's instruction. Gur ke sabad jeevat mare, har naam vase mane aaye. So that's the relationship. So the question is, what is it that has to die? The answer, vichon haume na jaye. Through these practices, haume does not leave us. So then the answer is implied. We have to die to the ego consciousness. And obviously, the death is not a physical one, but a psychological one. In order to understand this, let's consider the metaphor of Pavjal or Pavsagar, which is very persistent in Gurbani and is mentioned here as well. And what that really means is that material existence is tre gun sab tat hai, duja pao vikar. In other words, there are three inherent qualities of material existence in nature, that is, that give rise to tat, inertia or matter, duality, duja pao, and vikar, which we can think broadly of as disorder. Now, these properties are reflected in the individual as ignorance, attachment. Duja pao leads to attachment. Tat leads to is ignorance, spiritual ignorance. And vikar, disorders, are the passions running amok. Now, all of these attributes collectively can be referred to as haume, or ego consciousness, which is the delusion. So it is this ego consciousness that has to be transformed. We refer to it as being killed, but it's transformation. In other words, it has to achieve another state from where it is for it to be able to function successfully. How does one do that? Well, we are asked to hasten to the Gur, spiritual wisdom. This is the methodology of Sikhi. Gur. Gur te marg paya, chuke moh gubar. That is, follow this methodology, which we call the Gur, and overcome the delusion of moh, of attachment, that arises naturally when you are living in ego consciousness. And then there is a word of caution, which is, a manua a-sabad-a-day, chade na kite upay. This mind is very strong, a-sabad, stubborn, does not easily give up its tendencies and addictions and neurosis. And as a result, it inflicts the pain of duality on itself and suffers much punishment. Duje pae dukh lainda, bahti de sajaye. So we are really inflicting our pain on ourselves. However, there is always a word of encouragement. Nanak naam lagge se ubre, haume sabad gawaye. Nanak, those who attach to naam, self-knowledge, through sabad, the word, instructions, are saved. In other words, they are the ones who flourish. So it's fairly simple. You have an ego consciousness that is delusional. You have to educate it through the sabad and access self-knowledge, Harinam, which resides within you quite naturally. That is the Sahaj. And that is where we all have to get to so that we can see clearly, Nadari Nihal, and have foresight. With that thought, until the next time, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.